Elegy, written in a country churchyard by Thomas Gray. Explanation of the poem. We'll take this stanza, first stanza here. The curfew tolls the knell of parting day. The lowing herd went slowly o'er the lea. The ploughman homeward plods his weary way, and leaves the world to darkness and to me. The curfew tolls the knell of parting day. Parting day. Hope you can see it's dusk, but not straight reference. It's dusk, parting day. Day is going away. And he hears this curfew tolls in Western countries and all. You can see this kind of, you know about this kind of a bell ringing. Sometimes, or usually to give the sense of the end of the day. But when this knell, it becomes death knell sometimes with a certain religions, mainly I think it's about Christianity. The death knell, if there is a death nearby, people are given the information or at least the notion about such a death by some knell. It's death knell sometimes, but this curfew tolls actually. It's about the parting day, and you have a kind of info about this falling of morning, and it's approaching of dusk now, it's soon it will be night. So this is how you get the notion of approaching night, but now it's evening, and you can see this person standing there near the country churchyard. The lowing herd went slowly o'er the lea. Lowing herd. Actually, these people, it's about the country, simple villagers. So sometimes they may be having flocks, sheep, or anything, any kind of cattle. So they are also going back home with their owners. Actually, lea means pasture. Pasture. So maybe a new word for you. They are also going back slowly with their, sometimes maybe with their owners or sometimes alone. You know how flocks, that cattle, they move together. They never they go to the desirable direction. They never go in a wrong path. You know how cattle, if they are trained, they can behave themselves actually. The plowman homeward. Now it's about the plowman. Plowman means the people who are working hard in fields and all. So obviously you get the reference for simple villager. Homeward plods his weary way. Plods. Normally plodding means it's plodding. It's about uh, the term refers to movement with a difficulty. They are already tired. It means that they are tired. They are moving with a difficulty. They cannot run enthusiastically because the whole day they have been working there. The whole day they have been working there, working hard. Now they are, completely. It's a weary way. Weary way. It's like weary way. That's again a transferred epithet. What do you mean by transfer? Sometimes you don't know. You have no. It's not prescribed for you as a literary device. Actually, it's a figure of speech where it's a transferred epithet. Means you use you transfer something a human to something inanimate, something animate, weary. Actually, who will become tired? Actually, only a human being or something animal. An animal only may become tired. Usually, that's a sense. You may argue back that no, our devices also are getting weary. during online Google Meet sessions and all. That's not what I mean. But normally we talk about this weary or tiredness to something animate, something living. But you are talking about this way to be tired, weary, very tired. But that is the way you transfer the quality of the people who are plodding, who are working hard. Actually, this plowman, the simple villager, they are tired and walking slowly back to home. They are actually tired, but here this poet uses a transferred epithet saying that it's weary way. So there was a funny example. I will get to that, and with that you will get the idea very clearly. Well, mean vannu. Think about that. I don't know whether it's very perfect fitting an example for transfer, but actually it's not this fish is coming to home, but a person is bringing that dead fish to sell or to be sold. But you always use that mean vannu. Okay, and that is what you mean by transferred epithet. Something animal, the feature of something alive is transferred to something inanimate. Here, weary way. Actually, a way cannot be tired. But the people who are traveling on that are actually tired. But with that itself, you can know the poet can bring the sense of this tiredness in the people, in the plowman or the simple villager who is plodding all the while, who is working all the while, who has been working all the while and going back home and leaves the world to darkness and to me. Now, with their leaving, with their going back, now it's a parting of day, it's dusk now, soon it will be night, and it's you have this world to darkness. Now, this world is to darkness, and to me, I'm also going to darkness. So, world and to me. Now it's going to be darkness. Soon it will be night. So he also will be going to meet the coming night. So this is the way the first stanza looks like. Hope you know. Hope you get the visual picture. At least you can imagine how this person is standing there and talking about the approaching dusk. dusk, dusk. And coming that parting day, but he's thinking about the simple villagers who are going back home after the hard work. So he's concerned about the simple villagers. That's a major idea. Simple villager. He's concerned about them. Okay, fine. Uh, then, let's wait. Um, yes. Uh, then, stanza number 2. Now fades the glimmering landscape on the sight. Now fades the glimmering. Yes, you okay? Yes. Sorry. Now fades the glimmering landscape on the sight. Maybe because of the so there is no light. Dusk itself approaching, with the dusk approaching itself, your light is fading, sun is going back, and you have a very glimmering landscape. That's about that glimmering of landscape. It's fading from sight, the sight, and all the air a solemn stillness holds. So evening time, it's not actually very enthusiastic. Everyone is tired. So it's solemn. So a solemn. The stillness, it is a loneliness, a stillness. The whole air holds that kind of a solitariness, a stillness. You're not really enthusiastic. Think about you are being in the campus. In the morning you are really fine. Even though there is an examination, still you are really enthusiastic about being in the class and all. But by the think about the last hour, by the time all of you are tired, whether you have worked hard, whether you listened to the lectures very perfectly well, or even though you were sleeping or you were taking rest during some first or second or third hours, even then every one of us will stay tired, become tired. All of us become tired. So this is the way, the stillness, there is a stillness, an air, the whole air becomes still and solemn. Say where the beetle weaves his droning flight, the beetle, kind of insect, that's all. Beetle wheels his droning flight. It's a humming noise, droning flight, with every insect, with their movement. Can see that a droning flight. So flight, they are flying all over. Insects are there all around us. You may, especially during this evening time and all. And drowsy tinklings lull the distant falls. And drowsy tinklings, drowsy, sleepy. And tinklings means again the sounds of bells. Tinkling actually it's here stands for the sounds of bells fastened against animals. Because again, there's a reference about cattle, herd also coming back, and you can hear that. Now they are also going back to lull, actually to put to sleep the distant folds. Distant folds means, yeah, they are taking back actually the shed, the enclosures where you keep these sheep or other animals. Why? What are they doing? All these cattle are taken. Cattle, they go back home. Those herd, the cattle, they go back home and they are kept in some folds, some shed enclosures for them. And you can see that tinkling their bell, the sound of their bell also you can hear at times. So again about the same evening, but some into details. What all things he visualizes, imagines, or what all things are available to him. The landscape is fading because it's dusk. So stillness, there is a stillness. Please note down all this. There is a stillness, and you see the humming of certain insects, beetle or a certain flight. Their flight brings a kind of sound in the whole atmosphere all around him. And now cattle, they are very drowsy, but they are the sound of the bells tied against their neck, around their neck. You can hear from the folds, their sheds. So it's not simply talking about, yeah, I'm going to write an elegy about the villages, but each and every minute detail about them, their lives. That's what you get from Gray in this elegy. That's how it becomes very lengthy. Okay, yes. Save that from yonder. Save that from yonder. Yonder means distant. Ivy mantled tower. Ivy mantled tower. Actually, tower, Tower. But the poet uses it to fit to the rhyme scheme, meter. To the meter, rhyme scheme. You can see how skillfully he has woven the lines. Tower. If he uses it complete, that obviously it will not fall with the meter that we have already discussed. We took one of the lines from one or two lines of this poem actually to talk about meter and how important it is to hold the proper number of syllable divisions or that stress and unstress pattern to fit the whole one. Yeah, that's why we praise this poetic skill. A whole 128 lines written in the same meter. It's really commendable. So you can see certain words are sometimes it's written as its abbreviated form and all, deliberately done to make it perfectly to bring that meter, perfect meter in all the lines. He uses tower, er. There is an addition of a vowel, and it changes the whole structure. So he makes use of that all device, all those possibilities to fit to that metrical format. Save that from yonder ivy mantled tower, the mopping owl, O-W-L owl. Ivy mantled tower actually that means the church covered with a creeping plant named ivy. Ivy or ivy. I would like to check out the pronunciation. But it's a kind of plant, creeping plant, and it has covered the church where the church building, it's always very huge building, very lengthy, and it's attic and all. When you look at that during evening time and all, it's something, you can see some owls or some other birds and all, see, having nest or very peaceful sleep over all the area. So here you can see an owl just to the moon actually complaining to the moon. Why? Why does the owl complain to the moon of such as wandering near her secret bower? That's a problem. This owl or WM owl, that bird, it's complaining. What is the complaint? Of such as wandering near her secret bower. Why do these people are wandering over my secret bower? I'm peacefully sleeping here in the church building or on the attic or somewhere in between the creeping tower, mantled tower. There is a tower in the church where I am sleeping peacefully well. But these people are wandering over my land or my secret bower. Molest her ancient solitary reign. They are molesting the ancient solitary reign. This is why I told you molest. In the readily available sense of the term, the meaning is about molesting. It's something related with the rape and in the modern sense of the term or the readily available meaning of the term. But here it means these people are molesting. They are seizing, conquering or somewhere. They are exacting that kind of. They are taking away her solitary reign. Actually, this all is very happily reigning. That reign means ruling. That whole mantle tower, the tower of the church, where she's very happy. No one is there to disturb her. But now, what does she see? What does she see? These people are disturbing. These people, the simple villagers, they are going back and they are all these sounds, the same sound poet talks about. Like cattle herd, they are going back. The knell, sound of knell, the droning flight, beetle, sound of beetle, tingling sound. So all these sounds are disturbing her. And mainly the sound of the footstep of the people who are walking all over the land. She's not happy that all is complaining to the moon. Think about that. So this is what I mean by literature. Can you ever think about a paper report telling this all complaint, filed a complaint in the office of moon about people disturbing her solitary way? No. You cannot do that. You cannot think about that. A newspaper report will never get you such a combination of a report, a kind of composition or anything, any writing of that kind. But you can do that in literature. And this is why literature is so beautiful. So your visual power to imagine about all these possibilities. How beautiful it is to think about this owl who is actually occupying the whole ivy mantled tower, the church, an area with a completely covered and safe in itself with the ivy mantle, ivy, it's a creeping tree, a creeping plant, so that all is very happily reigning, ruling. She's the queen of that space spot. But actually, these people are molesting her peace and quietude. They are wandering. Oof, my secret bower, my solitary reign. These people are wandering and they are making life difficult for me. This is the way she complains to the moon. But think about that very construction. Mopping all. Mopping means all sad. Sorry, I forgot to mention that meaning. Mopping means sad all. She's very sad. Just to the moon complain. Think about that sentence, normal sentence structure, how subverted it is, reversed it is. The mopping all dust to the moon complain. The mopping all complains to the moon. Instead of that, dust to the moon complain. Actually, what do we teach? In an affirmative sentence, you do not have to use do or does. But think about this poet cutting down that dust from here. So that whole metrical arrangement gets affected. So he adds that this is what you mean by brilliance of composition of poems. That's it. Then, the last fourth stanza. Beneath those rugged elms, beneath, beneath, that rugged elms actually another tree, that yew trees shade, yes, yew trees shade, yew trees shade, another tree, were heaps that turf in many a mouldering heap. So you can see beneath those rugged elms. Okay, you can think about this churchyard with a lot of trees all around. Now you have irregular. If it is not cultivation or something, if you are not cultivating something, think about the trees growing in your own yard or around your house. You know how people plant it in the very ordered manner. If it is a very serious plantation or something, it's about if you're going for such planting to make it a garden, like a garden in the mode of a garden, you make it in the very arranged manner. But here, trees grow here and there, and you have different kinds of projections, irregular order all around the church. Here's the turf. Turf, I don't have to tell you, turf is lawn. See, the turf. Grass, grassy surface. Heaps or turf, all both stand for grassy surface. Grassy surface, and in many a mouldering heap. Many a mouldering heap. Many a mouldering heap. Mouldering heap. It's about because of this irregular growth of trees here and there. You can see the soil. You have projection of all the ground in a very heap. Here it is heap. There is a slope. All those. Each in his narrow cell forever laid. The rude forefathers of the hamlet sleep. Each in his narrow cell. That is it. Now we get the notion of the graveyard. Churchyard where there is a cemetery-like arrangement and each in his narrow cell. Forever late, L-A-I-D, late. The rude forefathers. Maybe the forefathers who are not really learned, sometimes they may be very rude, but the same kind of simple villagers. Hamlet here it stands for village. Actually, they sleep means they lay buried. Now you get the complete notion that this poet is now standing in a country churchyard, near a country churchyard. Not simply he is standing somewhere during dusk time or evening time, but yeah, he is staying near a churchyard itself where many people lay buried. Hamlet sleep. The rude forefathers of the hamlet sleep. Means many simple villages lie buried here. There, those villagers lay buried here. So that's all with the first four stanzas. Yeah, we'll go for the next session in the next recording, I think.